Hi, I'm McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today we're going to unpack a real breakup story. My girlfriend is broke. Tired of supporting her. I'm tired of giving her money. Has anyone been in this situation before where you kind of knew that going in, and you got to give them money? You got to help them out, or you don't want to, and you feel like, I'm not going to do this anymore. Let's get into this story. If you have a breakup story you want to send in, go to writemac.com, send it in, or book a live coaching session. If you like this, subscribe. If you don't like it, better to have an opinion. Let's get into it. So, I can't believe I'm writing a story to a breakup coach. Well, believe it, dude. A lot of people do it. But I like the idea of getting advice for my specific situation. Tailored advice, buddy. My ex is 34 and I'm 36. We broke up 3 days ago, but before we broke up, about 3 months ago, only to get back together after 2 weeks or working things out, and now the same problem has bubbled up. So I talk about this a lot. It's very easy to get back together out of pity, loneliness, especially if you have a girlfriend that is someone that has a soft heart or a soft ear, is a kind, feminine woman. She might take pity on you, right? Or you might be able to explain your way back into things. But if you haven't fixed the actual problem, it's going to bubble up again. You're going to break up again. So that's a big thing when you come to me with your story, because let's get into the problem, not the feelings. She did this, she did that. Like, what's the problem? And now the same problem has bubbled up. She doesn't work, which I'm okay with. I make enough for both of us, but I'm making the money. I have a right to say no. I have a right to say no to what you spend it on. I'll take care of the house and the bills, and I'll give you money for certain things, but if you don't find what you're buying to be a good deal or useful or whatever, I can and will say no. Great thing. Clear cut. Hey, look, I'm going to take care of you, hun, but you're not going to just get a fixed salary for being my girlfriend. It's like, if you're going to buy something, I'm going to ask you how much is it, and I'm going to say yes or no. A lot of people might be going, oh, that's not fair. A lot of women out there might be going, what? Just give her the money, right? No, these are your rules, expectations, and boundaries. Yeah, I'll take care of you. Yeah, I'll help you out. Yeah, I'll support the idea that you're a stay-at-home girlfriend, not mom, because you haven't mentioned kids. You probably would have mentioned that right away. That's fine, but I'm going to veto some things. I think that's fair enough. I think that's, as long as you're crystal clear on that, and she agrees to it. Now, if she goes back on the agreement and gets, throws a tantrum because she didn't get what she wanted, well, then that agreement's not going to work out, and obviously she's not keeping her word. But I don't find what you're buying a good deal or whatever, I can and will say no. We've had this talk before. Eventually she always agrees and says she understands, but then it turns into another situation where I didn't give her money or allow her to buy some items she wanted, and as soon as I say no, she goes into bratty kid mode. All right, so there's a pattern here. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine, but can I get money for this? Yeah, you can get money for that. Yeah, you can't get money for that. Wham, wham, wham. Not good, right? If someone, you haven't mentioned how long you're together, so how long has this been going on? But if you're reiterating the rules and regulations of this situation, and you have the upper hand, you're the one with the money. You have the leverage, right? You create the rules. She'll carry this on and create stories that I'm selfish or cheap, that if she had money, she'd buy it for me. Of course she would, right? You're like, yeah, but you don't have it. I explain that I believe her, but she doesn't have any to prove that true, and I wouldn't expect someone that pays for me to buy me anything I want. So this is how I look at the world. This is how you look at the world. Much different. The problem is we always reconcile with crazy good sex, and she lets go of whatever she wanted to buy and never brings it up again. So problem is solved short term. Well, at least there's a light at the end of the tunnel. At least you get a little reward after the fight. But then it just happens again with a separate item. These items aren't always big or expensive. Now we most recently broke up over me not wanting to buy her some fairly cheap lotion at the grocery store. That's specific. I almost feel like I'm with a kid that's trying to fill the cart with whatever they want. So this is does she feel that way? This is where what I would ask, down the road, does she have any plans of having a job so she has her own money to buy her own lotion? That would be one thing, even if it's a job that she doesn't make a lot of money. Because one of the problems when someone doesn't work is they get obsessed with the relationship more because they don't have other things to occupy their time with. I almost feel like I'm with a kid trying to fill the car. I think back to my parents, and my mom would shop on her own, but was always frugal, had her job, but dad made a lot more, and dad would let her buy whatever she wanted, but really my mother was the type to never buy stuff she didn't need. So this is not an issue of me or you buying or not buying things. It's not an issue of you not wanting to support her. It's an issue of the items she's buying, right? You've just related this to your mom, and you're saying that, yeah, mom had free will to buy things, but mom wouldn't buy stuff that I didn't find valuable. I'm just mentioning this because I know a lot of times we mirror our parents' relationships and then gain expectations in a relationship based on that. Absolutely true. Very mindful. I believe we will get back together as we've got a good relationship overall, and we've been texting. She's just at her sister's now, and her sister actually adores me, so I think I'm in good shape. But how do I get her to understand that I'll support her, but I can say no to items or expenses I don't want to take on? Will she just always be this way? I'm not sure if she'll always be this way. The fact that you are able to have sit-down conversation and she keeps agreeing to it, how much does it register? But always keep this in mind, okay? When you have a situation where you're fully supporting someone, they're not just in a relationship with you, but you're also their job. So they have more riding on the relationship, because if you break up with them, they didn't just lose love, passion, intimacy, affection. They lost money. So the fact that she doesn't have a job, she doesn't have a backup guy in tow, she probably is going to come back to you because she's dependent on you more than just money, right? And you might feel good about that. But you do need to hold the ground, right? And keep saying, this is, if you want to get your own money or your own job to get your own items, that's fine. But I will say no, and continue to stick to that. Even if she, pouts or is bratty, and you can deal with that, eventually she's got to go one way or the other and realize, just like a kid, right? Let's say a kid, let's go back to your situation. You're a kid with your mom in the candy store, and your mom goes, no, you can only have one, right? You go back to the candy store, mom goes, no, you can only have one. You go back to the candy store the next time, you only get one, because you already know mom's dug in and that's her rules. So hopefully your girlfriend at 34 years old realizes at a certain point, these are the items that I'm probably not going to get. Okay. Now, but if it continues with this, quote unquote bratty behavior, there's alternatives. Tell her to get a job so she can support herself. Or the other one is like, look, long term, this relationship won't work unless you can accept the fact that I'm going to have veto power over what you buy. If I cut the relationship now, I'm sure I really miss her for all the other parts that she does well. I'm sure you would too. Every relationship's a trade-off. This is the one trade-off you have. The minute you give in and go, all right, I'll buy the cheap lotion that I didn't want to buy, or I'll buy this, you're training her. You're enabling her to get what she wants. But each time you turn her down or direct her otherwise, you're training her to say, if I'm going to be with him, and like I said, you didn't tell me how long you were together, he's not going to say yes to everything. I have a choice to accept that or not accept that. So I think your relationship still absolutely has hope. You'll probably get back together, but hold the ground. Don't give in on this, right? Hope that helps you. If you want to send in your story to writemac.com, links down below. Otherwise, have a good one.